Watch Douglas Murray telling Bill Maher some hard truths about the Israel Hamas conflict. It's great.
I've seen the conflict up close, and I still believe that, first of all, you can't just put out 80% of a fire. You have to put out the whole thing. You can't destroy 80% of Hamas. You can't not get the leader who masterminded the 7th, Sinwar. And that's all in Rafah. And the second thing is, I don't think there's any law of war that says you can start a war and then when you begin to lose it, you say, let's pretend we didn't start it.
But that is always what Israel faces.
Sure. It's very strange. A year before I was in Ukraine, I was with the Ukrainian armed forces when they were retaking land from the Russians, and nobody was saying, oh, hold on, don't win too much. Everyone was egging them on. Every Western leader gets a shot of testosterone whenever they talk about the Ukrainian armed forces. And yet the Israelis never allowed to win.
Yeah.
Very strange.
What do we attribute that to? Why is that anti-Semitism? Would you say that why they have a set of rules for them? They truly are the chosen people. They're chosen to not win the war. I agree.
Yeah, and for some reason, I think anti-Semitism is one of the reasons. Whenever Israel is involved in a conflict, the whole world goes bananas. And you can't even have a Eurovision Song Contest without it becoming an Israel-Gaza thing. It's crazy. Everyone gets obsessed with this conflict. And I think one reason is, by the way, is because a lot of people, Democrats and Republicans and people of all stripes, have said for a generation, until the Palestinian-Israeli issue is solved, there won't be peace in the Middle East. As if you solve the Palestinian-Israeli issue and then the economy of Yemen starts to boom, and then the Iranian mullahs give women rights and the Saudis become really keen on the gays. No.
This is absolutely fascinating. What's amazing is that Bill Maher, as well as Douglas Murray, are both atheists. They're both secular atheists. And yet Bill Maher, who had a whole atheism campaign, is acknowledging the Jewish people's chosenness, that it becomes so evident. It's quite remarkable. That's quite a messianic development. People are realizing that the double standards, the triple standards that Israel is held to, the fact that there are so many more deaths, so much more bloody conflicts, much more oppression going on, not just in the rest of the world, but even in the Middle East, in the same neighborhood, and people don't care. But what people are seeing is, wow, there clearly is a unique destiny tied to the Jewish people. It's amazing that whether people are secular or religious, Jew or Gentile, they are coming to recognize this. It's quite astonishing. The truth is starting to dawn on us. And I think there are some implications to this. The first key implication, which exactly is what Douglas was saying, that Israel isn't allowed to win, that Israel's held to unfair standards. Right, so therefore, Israel should not try to appease the world, should not try to dance to the standards of Western secular morality, which frankly are not even fair, even if they were to be acknowledged for dancing to those standards. But even when they do, they're not acknowledged as such, and therefore Israel should just do what she needs to do to protect her people, to follow the Torah's guidelines for war morality. And it's like a teacher in the classroom. First you gain respect, then you can start to deal with whether people like you or not. Do what you need to do. No more pandering, because if you're not going to play fair, if the world isn't going to play fair, then why indulge them in the first place? But secondly, this is the really key thing. Part of the reason for this ongoing hostility, these double standards, and this obsession with Israel that Bill Maher looks at and thinks, well, they must be chosen in some way, chosen to be hated. Well, not necessarily. What's actually going on is that humans know, people know, the anti-Israel campaigners know in their subconscious that there's something essential about the Jewish people and their destiny with regard to the world. That's why there's so much focus. That's the Jewish philosophical understanding of anti-Semitism. It's a deep, epic battle. It's a cosmic battle representing the issue of the world's very purpose. And the reason why the Hasbara activism, Israeli activism, trying to appease the world, doesn't seem to work, and why there are these ridiculous double standards, is because the Jewish people were chosen for what? They were chosen to be God's voice to the world, to teach the world about God's purpose, his plan for the world, his desire for the kind of world he wants. And that makes them the teachers in the classroom. And when a teacher wants to just fit in with all the students and say, no, I'm just a student like all of you, and tries to be liked and tries to basically show weakness, the students have a field day. They take advantage, they can bully the teacher, they can be just acting like children, they can act in an infantile manner. And that's what we're seeing happening on a global stage. The world is a global classroom. And for as long as the Jewish people say, no, we're just like one of you, and just why can't you hold us to the same standards? Because the world knows deep down we're not just, the Jewish people are not just like the other nations of the world. And for as long as they insist that they are, for as long as the teacher insists she's a student, the students are going to have a field day. But the second that Israel says, all right, we actually are the teachers in this classroom, and we're going to show you what needs to be done, and we're going to stop trying to appease, and instead we're going to be bold, we're going to be strong, and we're going to start being loyal to what our God and what our Torah tells us to do and what it teaches. And we're going to teach that to you. We're going to take on this role. We're going to fully come into this role as the light to the nations, as the morality teacher in the classroom. Then we may be surprised to see a very, very different reaction from the students of the world. That's ultimately the solution. But the thing that I find most intriguing is that it seems that people don't have to be religious to start seeing this. It's interesting that the Messianic era that we speak of, that we're waiting for, a world in which all the nations acknowledge and build a connection and serve the God of Israel, who, by the way, is the God of the universe as well. But what's fascinating is that we describe the approach of the Messianic era as a dawn, the dawn that breaks the night. And it's interesting that that word dawn can also mean to realize something, like something dawned on me. It dawns on, like it slowly seeps into your reality that this is true. Something dawns on you. It doesn't happen immediately, it just slowly creeps up on you. And that's what is so fascinating that we're seeing. I don't know if you've noticed this since the end of last year. People are starting to see, hold on a sec, it really wasn't that the Palestinian cause was virtuous and that Israel was really bad and that there was, two sides to every story. It really is a matter of Jew hatred, and it really is a matter of something deeper, something more essential, something spiritual going on. And it's dawning on people, the Jewish people's relationship with the world, God's relationship with the Jewish people. It's dawning on people whether they are religious or secular. It's amazing to hear this from Bill Maher, who I believe is Jewish, but was very much an advocate of secular atheism. And even Douglas Murray as well. I've started to see hints of him quoting the Bible, Deuteronomy, and he is an atheist, and I don't know where his position is to this date, but what we're going to start to see happening is the truth is going to dawn on us. And that's really good news. Really good news. Anyway, please do share this video. Please like, please comment, please subscribe to JTV. If you're able to click the join button and become a member, that's going to really help us to turbo boost our growth and create more content, create more series of all kinds of different issues. And also please tell us in the comments the kind of things that you want us to talk about, because we're really open to where we take this channel. Thanks again for watching. Hi, thank you so much for watching. To watch another one, click here. To stay up to date with all our content, click here to subscribe. And if you're able to, you can help support JTV to grow and grow by clicking join below this video, where you can become a member and get perks including early access to videos and private live discussions with me. But most of all, you'll be partnering with us on our mission to change the world.